But when that military attack takes place, Israel will have to be able to argue, we were provoked. We're only trying to defend ourselves. So in order to do this, you have to begin the process with Ariel Sharon going into Masjid Al-Aqsa with 1,000 Israeli soldiers in a deliberate act of provocation. He knows what the Palestinians are going to do when he does this. A deliberate act of provocation intended to bring that intifada back to life. And when it comes to life and the killing starts, Israel will have to talk peace on this side, but continue doing pinpoint killings. Every time they kill, every time they assassinate, it is intended to further inflame the passions of the Palestinian people, bring that state of rage. And as the oppression continues to increase, there is going to be an awakening amongst the Arab masses. Egyptian people are going to be very angry. Jordanian people are going to be very angry. In order to survive, when your people are becoming more and more angry, you're going to have to start making some powerful statements. You see? So as these statements now come out, and maybe you have an Arab Summit conference and so, and the impression is created that the Arabs are closing in now on Israel, the stage is set. You've done your PR work perfectly. And now Israel can launch that spectacular military attack. The Israeli people are calling on the government, come on, what are you waiting on? Let's wage war. In the Israeli cabinet they're calling for it. And the government is giving the impression to the world that we are restraining ourselves. We are restraining ourselves. But Israel has a PhD in deception, because it's Dajjal at the back of this, the mastermind. And Israel would not want to wage a big war and appear to the world naked, clearly, as an aggressor. No, that's not deception. Israel has to wage her big war and make it appear as though she was only defending herself. The only Muslim I know of who has had the capacity to be able to penetrate the deception that has been going on all these years, the only one I know of, was a man who never went to Al-Azhar University. Now, he wasn't a sheikh. His name was Malcolm X. He's the only man I know of who had that eyes wish to see and could clearly recognize the strategy and the deception. Read Malcolm X. How is Israel going to launch this big war and yet get away from being perceived by the whole of humanity as the aggressor, blatant aggression? You have to come with a good strategy. The strategy is this. Ariel Sharon goes into Masjid Al-Aqsa with 1,000 Israeli military with him, with their shoes on, with the full knowledge that this calculated act of extreme provocation must have a response, a fiery response. And as the flames of the new intifada emerge, you must keep it burning by committing upon the Palestinian people more and more atrocities that drive them into a greater and greater rage. This is planning, this is strategy, this is not happening by accident. As Israel unleashes this barbaric oppression upon the Palestinian people, you must have a television station which you plant amongst them, which will cover this, that your Egyptian television would not cover, and your Jordanian government would not allow on Jordanian television, so you create something called Al Jazeera. And the Arab masses believe Al Jazeera is their station. This is the only place in the world we can get authentic information, Al Jazeera. So Al Jazeera is now used to portray all the atrocities. And so around the Arab world, the masses only have to tune into Al Jazeera and they know what's happening. And so the Arab masses become more and more angry. Pending scenario in which, like the domino effect, governments around the world of Islam, they will claim, are now going to fall. And the world of Islam is rising up now. And one-eyed Muslims, of course, are going to believe it. The world of Islam is now going to rise up and all these governments are going to be swept away. And authentic governments representing the Muslim masses will now emerge. And therefore the Jews are going to have their throats cut. This is going to be the most dangerous moment in the entire life of the world of Jews. The media will portray it. If we don't do something, we will all be slaughtered by these Muslim fanatics. Yeah? I tell you, this will be drama worthy of Hollywood when it comes. Huh? They must be hating me now for revealing their secrets.
Jerusalem's Temple Mount has been at the forefront of the battle of the great monotheistic religions, and once again today, passions are threatening to spill over into bloodshed.
I want the whole world to hear me. Al-Aqsa is in danger. Al-Aqsa is in danger. As God is my witness, I tell you, someone is conspiring to destroy Al-Aqsa.
Yesterday evening, the police, Jerusalem District Department assessed the situation. We're continuing our police measures in order to maintain the situation.
February 2007, the Israel Antiquities Authority began excavating just outside the Temple Mount compound near Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Western Wall. The authority says this work was in preparation for the erection of a permanent ramp leading to one of the Temple Mount gates.
All the work conducted here is absolutely outside the limits of the Temple Mount. We're standing about 50 meters from the wall. Nothing will be conducted within the area of the wall.
The Muslim community in the Palestinian areas and Israel was enraged. It's the third incident in a month involving archaeological digging close to Al-Aqsa Mosque, and Muslim leaders claim more covert operations are taking place.
There are tunnels dug from more than one direction. One of them goes from the Silwan neighborhood toward the sacred Al-Aqsa Mosque. They destroy the mosque gradually. By this act, they call for a wide religious war in the region.
Israel strongly denies any digging in the Temple Mount compound and beneath Al-Aqsa Mosque. Highly respected rabbis join in denials of excavations, pointing out the site is the holiest in Judaism, with many saying that Jews are forbidden from entering because of its holiness.
Today, till Messiah will come, and we will be pure enough to climb up the mountain, we cannot pray there, not because it's not ours, because it's the dearest and the holiest place.
Meanwhile, leaders of Hamas and Fatah convened in Saudi Arabia to resolve their disputes. The recent turmoil near Al-Aqsa seemed to unite the two sides against Israel.
They don't want a peace process. They want the Muslims to be evicted by the Jews to rebuild the Temple of Solomon, and then Christ to return and trump everybody.
They might keep their focus on you and be in solid testimony.
Things are coming to a head here. Some people are studying where to put an A-bomb in such a way that it will have repercussions, earthquakes, enough to flatten the whole area.
Even a symbolic act there can ignite violence, particularly at a time when the tension between the Islamic world and the West is so great.
Some young worshippers began to throw stones at Israeli security forces. The Israelis responded with stun grenades, with tear gas, and pandemonium ensued as Israeli forces basically took over the entire compound of the Aqsa Mosque, and that standoff went on.
Iran, 12 Shiites are, for me, much more dangerous than those Texan evangelicals. But together, they may lock into something really destructive.
This place has been a holy place since the beginning of the world and is, in essence, the center of the world. And we believe that the rock inside of the Dome of the Rock, which is called in Hebrew the Even HaShatiyah, which in English means the foundation stone, is the foundation stone of the world. That is the place from which God spread out the earth. Right now it's in the hands of the Arabs. We want to change that status to return the temple to its glory, rebuild the temple, restore the sacrificial service.
I believe that there will be a temple built. The Dome of the Rock will somehow be done away with. I have no idea. There's been plenty of earthquakes up there that could solve it. Saddam could, or not Saddam, but maybe someone from Iran could shoot a missile that gets off target and blow the Dome of the Rock. We kept hoping for that, by the way. I kept hoping one of Saddam's missiles would find its way over to the dome.
I don't know exactly how it's going to be removed, but it is not part of the end times as far as the Bible or Christianity is concerned. I don't think Judaism either. There's no place for that mosque. It has to be removed.
For the first time since the past 2,000 years within our generation, we are seeing these preparations for the rebuilding of the temple. They are training the priest. They have the implements in place.
There will be a daily offering in the morning, a daily offering in the afternoon, special offerings on the Sabbath and holidays. The Passover is sacrificed. All of those will be brought again, and the future temple will stand forever.
The problem that you have at the Temple Mount is that possession of the Mount becomes interpreted as possession of the truth. And when people think that they have to possess a place to possess the truth, that turns that spot into the blasting cap of religious conflict.
Who believe that if they want to start a temple again, they're even creating temple vessels. They're trying to get ready for the building of the temple.